I'm going to record them just in case people can't get on. But okay, so today we were going to talk about getting started right systems. And we can first talk about getting started right systems with challengers, and then we can dive into getting started right systems coaches. And I first just want to say that, like, what I do is what I've learned from trial and error. Like, I have changed basically all of my systems so many friggin' times, and I'm about to change them all, like tweak them all a little bit now. My corporate mastermind call last week was actually on this topic, and it's just kind of cool to see that literally everybody does like similar things, but in different formats, whether they use Google Drive or they send in emails or they have it in a page. So we'll start with challengers first. And I think that when I was a brand new coach, I used to literally like send people in personal messages, like all the information. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Like, there's people, things, they weren't like, they didn't know about the pricing, or they would get charged for Beachbody on Demand or whatever. So like I created that new challenger welcome email where it explains like, what is a challenge group? Welcome to your journey. I'll first just simply explain what I do, and then if you guys want to chip in that you do something different or whatever, you can do that too. But with challengers, typically what I do, when I sign someone up, I immediately welcome them to whatever challenge group I'm currently running, because sometimes if you don't do that immediately, you're going to forget. And it's so easy to just go into your phone, click on the group, add a member, add that person. And then I let them know. I let them know where the challenge group is. And if they're having a hard time finding it, I tag them in it so that they know, like, that's where they're going to be on their journey, learning, growing, whatever. And even prior to that, in my invites, I lead a lot with the community. So I tell them, like, we share recipes, we talk about meal prep, we do accountability. This is a group not just for you to like be a fly on the wall, but I would highly encourage you, the more you lean into this and the more that you share, the better results you're going to get and the more that you're going to feel connected. So kind of like setting the tone before they even start, I think is really important. And then the next thing I do, and I started doing this in basically in increments, because if you do it like as people come in, it can get kind of like where you're all over the place. And when you're trying to be good about time management, it doesn't work. So typically what I do is when I have, one or two new people, I will shoot out those emails at the same time. So like when I sign into my Coach Online office, I go and I see like, okay, now I see a new customer or I see a new coach, and I take their email right from there, and I go ahead and I go open my Gmail. And I send them my challenger welcome email. So that explains, Shakeology pricing, challenge groups, all those kinds of things. And what I also do, which I've found is really, really helpful, is why I created that like 21-day fix getting started right form, why I have like sample meal plans and a blank meal plan saved, because I'll actually just go right into my email and show you. But this, like, I'm all about it being as like effective as possible in terms of time. Because when you're doing this month after month after month with 1 million people, it can take a while if you're writing up these emails one by one, right? So I have like a generic welcome email that I send people. So I'm just going to screen share really fast. Hey, Taryn. La, 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 la. Okay, so this is in my sent mail folder, and I can go in and I can click, and this is the last person that I welcome, and it just says, hey, so excited to get you started on your journey, help you feel fabulous, healthy, fit, confident, and continue make this lifestyle change for 2017. Thank you for entrusting me to lead you on this journey to reach your goals. Here is some important information as you get started, and because she chose all access, I sent her the all access welcome email that I created that's in the files of the team page. And then I explain that it talks about the pricing and the discount of Shakeology because we signed her up as a discount coach because she is curious about the coaching opportunity, but just not ready to start yet. And then I also tell her, because we had selected 21 Day Fix as the program she's going to start with first. I have a file, like, a file folder on my desktop that says 21 Day Fix. And so in that folder, I have, my 21 Day Fix Getting Started Right, document. I have, the little cheat sheet. I have a blank meal plan. I have a sample meal plan, and I just go ahead and I attach those all right to the email, so that they literally have a bundle with everything right in there. So when I have someone new, all I do is I copy paste this and I go put it into composing a new letter. And if I need to customize it, if they've done a different program or something, then I can tweak it a little bit to that. But it makes it so that I make sure they're getting all the right information. They're getting started with the right tools. They know about the pricing and everything like that. And they feel like, okay, now I have something tangible to hold on to. And then once I've sent that email, I go and I send them a message on Facebook and I just say, hey, just wanted to let you know, I added you to the challenge group and I sent you my welcome email. You might want to go check that out and you can see like everything I just sent. And then I also let them know to let me know when their package comes, because if they need help, with understanding what's in their box or what they do with it or how to make a meal plan, and make sure that they know that I'm there to help them with those things. Something that I personally have been thinking about for a while doing is creating a challenger welcome video. Just like a 5-minute video of like unboxing your package. Like, this is what the containers are for. This is how you use them. This is where you find this in your book. This is what our challenge group is for. Just kind of breaking down the basics. And then perhaps at the end, just letting them know that, because I mean, for me, this is basically how I started coaching. Was I didn't know there was an opportunity when I started. And I mean, I definitely wasn't in a place where I thought like, oh, I'm going to coach because I'm in great shape and I'm not, whatever. But I think at the end, it would be great if we just said, like, just so you know, or down the road, if you're ever interested, because when you start to get results and you start to feel better and you feel more energized, people are going to naturally ask what you're doing. So if that happens, I want you to know that there is a coaching opportunity, and I do run trainings and whatever, but just to kind of give them a little like insight as to you could help other people and get your own Shakeology paid for, because I think that's a really like underlooked way to share the coaching opportunity. Now, another idea that I just heard on this mastermind call was on that somebody said in their welcome challenger email that they encourage people to post their box on social media, because that box can change their life, and tag you in that picture and just say why they're so excited about starting their journey. And then another one said that they encourage their challengers to like basically use their Facebook as like their journal of like sharing their journey of like basically what we do as coaches but not coaches, because she said that a lot of times I feel like it's kind of like what happened with Jordan. Like, she made 2 posts and like all these people came out of the woodworks and were like interested in what she was doing. And a lot of times if people are sharing something like that, then they think like, oh my God, there is people that like want to know what I'm doing, that would be interested, because that's one of the biggest objections is like, I don't have friends to join. My network's not big enough. I wouldn't know anyone. I don't know anybody that could actually benefit from this, and I don't want to be a salesperson. So perhaps that's something we could think about implementing. I'll shut up now. I would love to hear your feedback, what you do differently, what you kind of think about all this.
I'll go. So now with the All Access, I've actually been sending the 21 Day Fix documents already, so that they don't have to go in there and search for them. I do explain how they can get them, but it's like one less thing. And I know for me, it was like so overwhelming to get everything in the beginning and not to be able to read it. And I also compress all the documents, so I'm not sending them piecemeal anymore. I literally just started doing that last week. So like, Dana, how you had 5 documents, I just zip them all So I can put in the comment in the chat screen my welcome email.
Okay.
Because I have a few call to actions in the welcome email. I like some of the things you wrote, but like
if you just if you'd post it actually in the inner circle page that way, because
okay, perfect.
Here we won't be able to find it again.
Okay, and then I'm trying to think. The video, I actually made a video, and it's in our challenge tracker, but I'm going to start putting it in that the email I send them. Like, but it ends up being like 10 minutes, and I don't want it to be 10 minutes, so I'm going to redo it.
Right.
So.
And the other thing I forgot, you just made me think of this, is that challenger form that I created. That's something that I have to go back and revamp my welcome email to add in there.
I have that in my welcome email, so you guys can click on it. But actually, Kelly posted one that Katie Kreis made yesterday, and I like some of her questions. I might revamp it for my March challenge.
No, but I didn't even look at hers, but was hers for people that
I'm sorry. That's for
up, or is it for
people that was for like people to sign up. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I have so you guys can click on mine and see what it looks like. It's been working, and I think if you have like a survey, you see who's really serious. Like if they've taken the time to fill it out, like they really, I don't know, because no one really maybe a few people, but the ones that do really focus on them because they took the time to do that.
I also just posted in the page, Brad Bizjack gave me his form that he sends to new challengers, and it's a little different than mine, but I really kind of like in there he has what would it mean to you to achieve these goals. Really think deeply here. What emotions would you feel? How would your life change? And I really honestly think that no matter what yours looks like, the most important thing is if you fall off track, how do you want me to help you get back on track? Like, do you want me to text you? Do you want me to Facebook message you? Do you want me to call you on the phone? Do you want me to write on your Facebook wall? Like, because that happens a lot. And I know that, in the past 3 years, like I have people that literally go dead silent for 2 to 3 months at a time. And I follow up and I check in and, hey, are you all right? Or, let me know if you need my help. And then sometimes it gets to a point where I'm like, hey, if you've fallen off track or if you're struggling, like I'm not going to judge you, but I cannot help you if I don't know what has happened or where you're at. And people respond and just say like, yeah, I was so embarrassed. Like I didn't want to tell you. And I'm like, well, listen, like I'm not here to judge you. Like I'm not here to make you feel bad for falling off, but I can't actually help you achieve what you set out to do when you started if you're not honest with me. So I feel like for the ones that really like want it and are in it, asking that question of how to check in when they fall off track is important. It's not saying like, we know you're going to fall off track, but it's saying like, if you do, how do I track you down? Yeah. So does anybody else have anything they want to add to that?
I made a video on how to use All Access.
Love it.
And I attached that in addition to everything else you guys said. Oh, and I also put in a reminder to have them put in their phone 25 days from ordering to see if they're going to be continuing with Shakeology or not.
Well, Beachbody now sends emails. So like a couple of days prior to your next order shipping, like it'll say like your next order is about to ship, which I think is friggin' awesome because now we don't have to, it's not, one extra step that we have to take to be like, hey, your next shipment's coming. Do you want to change your flavor or whatever? That does it for that. So perhaps that's something we should mention.
Serena, Ashley and I actually created an email that I send out 2 weeks into the challenge for them. It has all the information. And I set an alarm for myself, like to do it only because there were like a few people that fell through the cracks at the beginning and then got mad at me about it. So I over communicate.
Even with all that communication, people still are surprised.
Oh, they still. And then I'm like, and then I remind, like this happened in January, mostly because like I was, making sure, you get the extra point anyway if they upgrade or whatever. And I'm like, hey guys, you're going to be renewed for on demand if you don't upgrade, like what? And they're like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to do it. And then what happened? Beachbody charged them twice and then they had to go call, so it's like, you can only do what you could do.
Well, and I think too that if you're sending all, I mean, this was always my reasoning because I had that happen quite a few times in the beginning, is like if you're sending all the information, if you're being totally transparent about everything and like giving them everything to the best of your knowledge, like it's on them. They're adults. Like it is their responsibility to go in and read that information that you sent, watch that video, check that email. You know, and it's one of those things where that's why once I send everything, I let them know that I sent it and they should go read it. Like just like a double, like, hey, it's there, but go make sure you actually go read it, because sometimes a couple weeks later, somebody will write and be like, well, I'm not really sure how to do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, did you read that email that I sent you that had all that information in it? Like I send that for a reason, not being smart ass, but you know, that's what you do it for. You treat it like a business. So, yeah, I mean, as long as
I love the idea of Sari sending the exit post follow-up, I think is from the challenge group. Somebody posted that. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could post mine here because that's on my to-do list today. Send everybody from the last one. So again, only a few people filled out, but it was good because it's usually mostly positive, and then stuff they would never tell you to your face.
Right.
So I was thinking, I don't know if any of you have done this. I was thinking about asking them like, hey, can you leave a testimonial in this one? Because I'm trying to put my website, together. So
Great idea.
I
and
actually,
be like,
sorry, now that you mentioned that,
sorry.
God, I nailed it that weekend. I reverted back. I'm going to open this real fast, but I created a form a while back that I was sending to challengers in attempts to get them to like share a testimonial and share their story. And I had quite a few do it. Not as many as you'd hope, but
actually, I think I'm gonna, and then I think I'm gonna do. Can I highlight you on a Women Crush Wednesday? I think I'm gonna and say like you don't have. I don't even need to show pic. You know what I mean? Like if you're not comfortable with a picture, what would you be comfortable with? Whatever. Yeah.
I actually had someone ask me about if I wanted a testimonial, and I was kind of like, I'll let you know, because I had no clue where I wanted to put it or anything. But I mean, a website.
Just collect them. Start collecting them, Stephanie.
Well, my whole thing when I created this form was that I wanted to put them all on my blog. So like when people come across my blog, they're like, wow, this is really cool. And then have some kind of a link where it's like, fill out a form if you want to join my next group. Obviously that hasn't happened yet, but that was the whole concept behind it. And also, yes, to be able to share them on Facebook, because obviously you need people's permission to do that. But the other thing that I think kind of goes hand in hand in that is that I have now started in the prep week of a challenge group saying like posting a picture of how to take your measurements and how to take your before pictures and letting them know like you either have to post these in the challenge group page or you have to send them to your coach personally, because I feel like it's like an added extra accountability. And also just kind of letting them know that like, okay, 3 weeks or a month from now, you can be in a drastically different place and you're going to want to be able to go back and look and see those pictures. And I've found that with that happening, that a lot of people are actually really excited to send me their updated progress photos. So that helps as well. Okay. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to Challenger welcome? I think that was good. Did everybody get something from that? I know I'm gonna change a couple things now. Yes. Okay. Alrighty, so getting coaches started right. This is also something that I continuously am changing and tweaking and figuring out what works best. And obviously, as your team gets bigger, you don't have as much time for things as you once did. So I think it's definitely really important to have some kind of a system, but it's a little different depending on if there's somebody like starting coaching from the get-go or if there's someone that has been a challenger first and already kind of like grasps like the community and the importance of being on your journey and sharing those things. But Same thing. I always, number one, I make a post. I ask them to give me a little bio about themselves, because I used to basically just kind of like make a post about them myself, with what I knew. But like, I feel like asking them to make a little bio about themselves helps you learn more about them. And it also helps everybody on the team kind of get to know whoever it is that's joining. And it's nice to have that like family kind of a feel, that team culture that you're wanting to create. So I always ask them if they'll send me a little bio about themselves, about their lifestyle, if they're married, if they have kids, what they like to do, their hobbies, but just like a simple paragraph about them. And then I take that and I utilize that towards making the post. And I also ask them to tell me, with that, why do they want to be a coach? Like, what are they starting coaching for? And then make a post with a picture, welcome them to the team pages. I still, some people debate on this of where you should add them and where you shouldn't, because now you guys, obviously, a lot of you are going to start your own team pages and it can be kind of overwhelming with a million groups. But I personally still add, obviously, all my new coaches to Empowered Elite, to Aspire Nation, and to Team Drop the Cookie. And then as soon as I add them, I let them know that Empowered Elite is my team. That is the team that they need to check into daily. Aspire Nation is my upline team, that there might be some things in there that they learn that are different from what I share. And that Team Drop the Cookie is the large team that I joined when I started, which is a great resource for information, and it's a top team in the company. So just kind of give them that breakdown, but say like, don't feel overwhelmed, because it's a lot of, notifications and stuff. But if you just do your best to check into our team page one time a day and see if there's anything that you should be looking at. And after that, then I send them my new coach welcome email. I have a form in there, like a getting started right coaching form that asks them like 10 questions of like, how fast do you want to run? Like, are you really motivated by income? I don't know. I have to look at it. I can post that too if you want, but some people fill it out, some people don't. It's ideal if everyone does, because then you can kind of grasp from the get-go, but I mean, free will, people aren't always going to do that. I also used to add my Acuity scheduling call link to the email, and I stopped doing that because I found that a lot of people were scheduling calls and then they were forgetting, or they were scheduling calls and then they weren't showing up for them. And so I have a personally sponsored coach page, which if you're my personally sponsored coach, you know that. But I post my one-on-one call link in that personally sponsored coach page every single week. And I tag my new coaches and say, this is where you schedule your getting started right call, because it also helps them take initiative to click on that link to schedule a call. And it kind of shows me like, okay, I'm ready for this. So, then I also obviously welcome them to our new coach boot camp. And for me, like the way that I structure my months and the way that it works best for me is that I've always kind of started really focusing heavily on inviting to a challenge group and hitting Success Club early on in the month, so that I kind of create like a funnel, because I used to just have people coming in all over the place and it got really hard to keep track of people and where they were at and who was ready for coaching and who was not. So if you can really push to help your 3 to 5 people in the first, say, like 2 weeks of the month, as developing leaders, I feel that's really important, because you need to always make sure that you hit your goals, because you are leading from the front. You are an example for your team. Your team is never going to do things that you're not doing or that you're not willing to do. But it also helps you get all your challengers started around the same time, so that you can put them in that challenge group, which I always start typically the 3rd Monday of every month. And then that way, at the end of a month, or when someone is 2 to 3 weeks into their journey, if I see that they're posting a lot, if I see that they're really excited, if I see that they're having results, if I see that they've shared something on social media, those are people that at the end, that last week of the month, when I know that my new coach boot camp is coming, I reach out to those people and say like, hey, you're really rocking your journey. You're seeing awesome results. I don't know if you have ever considered coaching, but I wanted to let you know that my new coach boot camp starts on this day of the month, and I think you would be really great at it, and just see what people say. Because you really never know. And some people are totally like, you think I would be good at this? I've never considered doing that, you know? But I really, for a while, like I said, I've changed the system. Like for a while, I ran new coach boot camps. And then at some point last year, I thought like, oh my God, what if I add a coach in the middle of the month and then there's not like a new training going? So I created a self-paced new coach boot camp, which I still have open for people that are runners and they want to just like get it from the get-go and dive in, and they're going to want to like haul ass through information. But I really honestly like to run new coach trainings organically, like posting every day, having you guys run it with me, the few of you that are, because I think that community and that sense of support and knowing someone is there to answer questions is really important. And it was something that was really, really important and valuable to me as a new coach versus being stuck in a page and looking at files and like no one's around to help with anything.
I will attest to that, Dana. You and Taryn's boot camp that I did with you guys was like the best thing. It was like me and one other person, but it was still so much better than just if you would have said, hey, here's a bunch of things to look at. Like, I think I got more just from those hour calls or whatever that we did once a week for however long than you throw into it. So, yeah.
And I mean, I think it's so trial and error because like when I created the self-paced, I was like, this is going to be so awesome. Like now I can add new coaches at any time of the month and like everybody can get started where they're at. But like I started to see that like people weren't actually following through with the files, or they weren't asking questions, or they were confused. So, you know, it's one of those things where like right now I have Jordan, Lauren, Sari, and Laura running that training with me, because I think it's important, whoever wants to step up and start running their own trainings, to learn how to do, because that was, you know, how Taryn and I started running trainings. Like Keith Callahan and Liz Harkey, 4 months into coaching, were like, hey guys, you want to run a new coach boot camp? And Taryn and I were like, what? But we did, and it helped us step into that leadership role. So I think that's, I mean, the sum basically of my getting started right system. And then I do a getting started right call. And what I have, like, I've kind of changed, obviously, what I talk about on getting started right calls. Cause in the beginning I used to probably, I don't know if some of you experienced this, but I used to like overwhelm people with information. Yeah, you, Stephanie. And I've honestly found that like the first getting started right call, typically I cover just a few things. And then I leave the rest to a second call. So in that first getting started right call, what I currently do, I get to know them a little bit. I ask them what their biggest fears are with coaching, because I think it's really important to address those fears of sharing on social media, of reaching out and talking to new people, of how they're going to network. You know, whatever fear of what other people think, or if, you know, whatever it is, like their fear of failure, their fear of success, and kind of help them work through that fear and help them see that like we all have fears as new coaches, but it's not something that has to stop them or hinder them. And then I just quickly cover Success Club, the importance of Success Club, whether they're a hobby coach or wanting to be a full-time coach. You know, explanation of actually how to hit Success Club, and let them know that if they're hitting Success Club, they're going to be able to hit the first rank as a coach, Emerald, already. And that's basically it. And it's kind of just like getting to know someone. Because I think that's important. You don't want people to feel overwhelmed. And then I also, at the end of the call, I prompt them to think about what their bigger goals are for this. Like, what do they want to see happen in the next 30 days? What would they like to see happen in the next 6 months? Because if they can give me an idea of like what pace they want to run at, what kind of goals they want to achieve in terms of like money they want to make, things like that. What are their big dreams and what is their why? And just say like, you don't have to tell me all this right now, but I would love for you to sit and really think about what this means to you, what it can do for your life. And next time we talk, then I can help you kind of break down those things into actually like tangible, achievable goals. And that's it. Does anybody else have stuff they want to add?
I do it pretty similar. I actually so how you guys are saying like a welcome video for your challengers, I actually have a short welcome video. It's like 10 minutes for coaches. So I kind of go through the basic things like what Success Club means, what Emerald means, like what are typical first goals, but obviously like they have to go at their pace. But I have them watch that, and I also add them into we have a self-paced boot camp that's more like just a resource center for everybody, and then we run a new coach training. It's 10 days, we do it every month. But I have them watch that, and then once they watch that, I'm like, all right, get back to me. Or I'll just tell them like, listen, the training starts next week, but you can go into the boot camp and go through. I have them like set up like photo albums, so they can go into the album, and that's like, you know, how they get started, an album about challenge packs, an album about sharing Shakeology. So I just say like, check out that album and then just send me back a message once you're done. So it's like, I want them to know like this business, you can only be successful if you're self-motivated, and you can't have somebody constantly telling you like, okay, now you need to wake up and do this. Like they have to have that self-motivation. We're here to guide them and share with them what we do every day, but they need to have that like self-motivation. And the best people that succeed as coaches are people who are driven like that. So the people that you feel like you have to drag, like they got to figure it out. So don't drag.
A whole nother call topic.
Yeah. But like it's definitely, I feel like a lot of it is like, I don't know. I always look back to when I started. Like I didn't have a coach who worked this business. Like she started a month before me. She had no clue, and I didn't either. But you just figure it out. So as long as you have like the resources for people to go to, which I know Dana's created all of that for you guys, and like you guys are starting to create them yourself, like you're fine. Like you're going to be just fine. And the people who want to run with this are the ones who are going to run with it. Just having that place to put them is hugely important.
Agreed. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? Or that they do different? Or that they're going to work on?
I'm still getting there. Don't have any coaches.
You will.
No, I have a team page. I have everything. I have people that are like, even if they like, you know, sign up their friend, they're in there. But I also like resonate a lot with Kelly's stuff. So I'm trying to like, I took a lot, like just mixing your stuff with hers, and then I want to get into the Google Drive. So
Kelly actually has a new coach bundle on her G Drive, which is
I have it.
Honestly would love to learn how to shift over to that G Drive, just come naturally to me. So that's a learning curve, but she has a new coach bundle that literally has everything in there. I forgot to mention that when I send my new coach welcome email, I attach in there my new coach checklist. And I attach a sample social media calendar, and I attach the Power Hour tracker. And I just tell them that like they're going to need these. They might not make sense at the moment, but they're going to learn about them in the new coach boot camp, because I want them to have those where they can print them out if to use them.
Also, have you ever considered there's just like the first 30 days that Beachbody gives, and I haven't looked at the videos, I'm going to, but like a lot of the people I talk to, like say Craig, like I was talking about stuff, and he's like, this is all you should be sending them. Like they need, I mean, obviously we're like females, I think we think differently, but he's like, unless someone shows you they're really serious, like just send them this to start and then like let them go. I mean, but I want to look at them because I think there might be stuff in there that we're missing. So Beachbody's updated it too.
Yeah. No, Taryn and I actually talked about that a while back, of like pulling things out of there. But honestly, in my perspective and in my experience, I remember being sent like the 7-day quick start or something like that. And it was like certain things that we were already covering in a new coach boot camp. And it just feels so cold and impersonal and like corporate-y, you know what I mean? And I just, for me personally, like I feel like the connection and the relationships are like such a huge part of starting out and feeling supported and feeling connected. And that like the first 1 to 2 months of someone being a coach are absolutely friggin' critical for them if they're going to stick it out in the long run. Like that experience that you're giving them and that hands-on and that information is really important, I think, to give people the best opportunity to get started. But by all means, like if there's things in those corporate trainings that you want to highlight or, you know, add to our new coach bootcamp, I'm down with you throwing out ideas if that's something you want to look at. But I just feel like too, there's so much to learn that sometimes it can be overwhelming if we put too much, you know what I mean? And I've tweaked these new coach boot camps like literally 18 times from when Taryn and I did it. Taryn and I revamped it, and then I broke off and did it on my own, and then I totally revamped it and created the self-paced training, and then I totally revamped it and, you know, created the one we have now. But like, I really tried to narrow it down to what is most important for them to learn at that part in their business and no more than that, because they're going to, for me, like I had to learn things as I went. Like I needed the basics to be able to dive in, start hitting Success Club, start helping people, start sharing on social media, and build my confidence in my ability to do more than that. And then start to learn those more, I guess, you know, other things or complicated things or whatever, the backsides of things. So of course you can do, you know, it however you like, but that's just what I think. I don't know who said that. You, Jordan? Where are you going now, Wanderlust?
Puerto Rico.
For what?
Puerto Rico. Girl, my college roommates, it's like a reunion. We see each other like once every 2 years, so we're making it happen. It's been planned for like 8 months. I'm excited, but it's not
That's
the
good
best
they picked
timing.
near you, though.
Yeah.
Yes, they were very considerate in that fashion.
Seriously.
They're flying like 3 hours. I'm flying like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I have to get ready. Thank you. But I'll be, hey, Sari and Serena, I will be on the power hour in the morning though. I won't have to get kids to school, so I'll be up.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's dedication right there.
What time are you doing it?
It is so much easier when they're not around.
7 a.m. my time. 6 a.m. their time.
Jordan says that now, but let's see what she does tonight and whether or not
They'll be
hour in the morning.
I have a feeling I'm going to be the tame one of the group this time.
Hard to believe that with those pictures I have of you, but
Maybe I'll send you some photos of my stellar dance moves.
Karen, I have a picture of her on the dance floor, and she's like this, like, dancing, and I put like #YOLO underneath it.
She has like some serious blackmail on me. All right, you guys have a good rest of the day. Thank you for all the tips.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys. Have a fun trip.
Thank you. Bye.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I have to run anyways because I have to get ready and run out the door and go buy cupcakes to go to Declan's school. But I think this was good. It was helpful for me. I hope it was helpful for you.
Thank you.
I love the idea of these masterminds. I think it's really important for us to all share and throw our ideas out there and mastermind. So always looking forward to them. Let's see, what is next week? If we go back to our original plan of doing the first and third of every month, then our next call would be next week. Is that good with you guys? Yeah. Is there a specific topic that you'd want to talk about next week?
I won't be there.
You can watch a recording.
I know. Avery won't be there either.
Bye, Mama.
How about me?
Or Ryan. He just got very insulted.
You can't leave him out.
No, he's like,
Love
how
you, Ryan. Too funny. Okay, well, we don't have to pick a topic at the moment. We can go look at the ones that we all posted in the page and pick something we think is relevant and would be helpful right now. I'm just trying to think. Perhaps, and this was something we didn't mention, but I think it's something that I was thinking about because I am really like trying to kind of step back and look at things like that I've done to like see shifts in like my team growth and all that kind of stuff that were helpful to me. But at some point, I think it would be good if we talked about like recognition or like how you post what you post in your team page. What I shout out, because like I made kind of a, obviously it's changed a little bit now with Success Club points updating weirdly. I have to do that today, but like what you do for recognition, like how you know what to post in a team page and just kind of having that knowing and like an observation of like what your team needs. But like I really want to encourage you guys all to start sharing to your own teams and adding that value because I know for me, like I talked to myself in my team page for legit a year. Like I would post every day, I would show videos, I would do whatever, like, and nobody would respond to anything. So I want you to first know that that's normal. But I also think that perhaps I can give you some ideas if you're just starting out with sharing, like what are things that you can be sharing that would be most helpful. Because obviously there's a billion things that you can share. So
I would love that. That would be really helpful to me.
I think another one is like talking about what to celebrate in challenge groups.
Yep.
Like, because
I think just challenge groups, period, because those, just like anything else, can always be tweaked and improved to be more effective and more fun and more engaging. So yeah, we'll put challenge groups on there, and we'll also put I don't even know what you want to call it. Team page topics. Alrighty.
I'm going live in the Team Empowered Elite page today per your calendar.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I posted yesterday in the Inner Circle page, and I'm debating. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you think that that's something I should post in general to the entire team? Because I think it would be really cool to see who's willing to step up and like go live and talk about a topic. But I posted that calendar yesterday. And Serena.
Did you assign or Serena volunteered?
No, Serena so kindly decided to create a Google Doc since I'm Google Doc challenged.
Okay.
So it's called a contribution calendar, and I found it in the wall. Someone had posted it just saying that they're like trying to better help like coaches step up and take the lead and be heard from and feel valued and know that they have things to share. So it's a contribution calendar, and people can go into the Google Drive that Serena created and sign up for a day and a topic, and then they go live in the team page for 5 to 10 minutes and talk about that topic that day. So I think it would be a great way to start hearing from new people versus you just hearing from me most of the time, because I get sick of myself talking, and I'm sure you do.
No.
But I just think that there's a lot of, just like this, there's a lot of value and a lot of knowledge to be shared. And I also think that it's really important to give people opportunities to step up to the plate and into that leadership role more. So are you cool with sharing that with the team as a whole? You can tag your coaches and see who wants to contribute. Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you, Serena, for creating that.
You can't use it on your mobile device for some reason.
I will see you next week. And for next week, would you prefer doing these calls at 9:30 instead of 10?
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm gonna it's a snow day and I'm home and no one's looking at me. So, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get on all the time. So just
I have jury duty next week, supposedly. So I don't know.
Alrighty.
I like this time. The kids could be up, but Mila just woke up and it's really nice because it's about to hit the fan now. So it's nice.
I kind of like it too because I get home from dropping Declan off.
So keep it.
We knock it out of the way and can move on to our day. So, all right, ladies. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Peanut butter toast. Thanks for hopping on.
Happy birthday, Deck.
We'll see you.
Happy birthday, Declan.
Happy birthday.
Bye.